Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Skillshare, one of our favorite sponsors. Listen, you can learn things from life coaching, leadership, photography, public speaking, and so much more. I can't wait for you to hear about Skillshare. Hello, everybody. Who is it? Who are we? What we doing? How we acting? Ron, it's Ron and Hope, Unfiltered.
This is week 2.
Week 2?
Of our new cups.
Oh, yeah.
Week 2. We have arrived, guys, in the Ron and Hope Unfiltered.
Listen, they're etched.
Can people buy these?
It's not week 2. This is, so you don't know what week we're on.
We just got 2 of them?
Yeah, for the low price of $10,000. Yep. You can have this cup with Ron Carpenter's saliva.
Yep, I'm sure that would be very valuable to our listeners. Mm-hmm. I really am proud of that, though. I was getting ready to turn up a little Fiji water, and somebody came in here and set this down. I'm like, man.
It was your assistant.
Yes, and they do such a good job.
Sweet little Amy and my remote assistant.
What are we talking about today? Go ahead and tell them so they don't click off.
Y'all. We're going to tell you some funny stories.
I want to talk to them about dating.
About me and Ron.
We're in the middle of Better Me, Better We. We finished one of them. We got another one coming up. And in the Better Me, Better We. They don't know what that is. Well, the Better Me, Better We is something we're doing actually at our church campuses. It's not online.
Sorry.
But we're doing it at our East Coast and West Coast. We've already done one. We're about to do the next one. We're doing, a couple hours on Saturday morning for the couples, but we're doing a couple hours that night for the singles. I want to bring some of that info because my iChurch, we've been sitting here making fun, talking to different people about being on iChurch. My iChurch director wanted to be able to stream this thing live, but we couldn't because it coincided with our Saturday night service.
Right.
So, pardon me, I'd like to take some of those things as we talk about me and you also that I challenged the singles with who are in that season of life dating. Because I can't imagine in this day and time being back out on the dating scene.
No.
And I'm just not talking to young people. I'm talking about the people, period. Divorce, whatever.
Especially if you're a Christian.
Yes, if you're a Christian, there's some things you need to look at. There's some standards that need to be held to if you are a Christian wanting to date. And so we're going to approach this from the angle that as we tell you, there may be some things that would spice up the marriage because we're intentional about dating. But at the same time may be very intriguing, if not helpful, to some people out there who are singles.
I'm just looking at you.
You are?
Mm-hmm. Thinking about dating.
Okay.
Wanting to go on one.
See, I want you to do this when we're off air. Okay? When we're off air, I want you to do this.
Yeah, but when we're off air.
What?
You're always chasing me and I don't get to pursue you. You're always on my heels all the time. I can't breathe. So when I'm sitting here looking at you, doing your thing and talking and looking so cute.
I try to tell you. So anyway.
Yeah, you tell me. You always are telling me. You don't let me look at you and
the wait's too long.
Figure you out.
The wait's too long.
Is that right?
Yep. When my drip is immediate, you can't wait.
Gosh, it's back to you.
Yeah.
Your drip.
The drip is right in front of you. You can't make me wait before you've noticed. Come on, somebody. All right.
Ooh.
Our first date, do you even remember it?
I do.
Where did we go?
We went bowling.
We did.
And do you remember who was in the car with us?
No, I don't.
Nancy
we were in my car.
Nancy came with us. Yep. At Emmanuel College. She sure did.
She's special.
Yes.
Yeah, she was special.
She always told me she's my age. So
she's a special needs lady. She's a special needs lady.
And so she's gone through the college. They let her. She is a resident.
Still there and she's our age.
Yeah, she's still going through the college. And so when me and Ron started dating, she told me, she said, I'm going to let you have him. She said, you can have him. She said, he was my boyfriend, but you can have him. So thank you, Nancy.
She got to me a year before you did.
We are here today.
Because Nancy let me go.
Nancy let you go.
Nancy let me go. I do remember that was our first date. I some of the things I would like to tell some people out there, I'm going to assume in the next few minutes that most singles, you don't have to write me and debate me if that's not you. We do a lot of things that over the years with singles, done entrepreneurial things, cleaning up your credit things, how to manage your money thing. I mean, we do all kind of stuff. I'm going to talk now more about relational things. I'm going to assume that most people in life would probably love to have a significant other. So when I'm talking, I'm going to make that assumption. Okay. The first thing is the law of the law of attraction.
That's true. It is the first thing.
Now, let me tell you something. Yes, I'm a preacher, and I love Jesus Christ with all my heart.
Now, this is serious because he said Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ with all my heart. But when I first was attracted to Hope, I was not attracted to her spirit. I was not attracted to her knowledge of the Bible. I was not attracted to her worship. I was attracted to her looks. She was and is the prettiest thing I had ever seen. Let's just get real, raw, and relevant.
So carnal.
I saw her. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that one. I saw her in a packed-out concert, big blonde hair, bleached, blue sweater dress with a cow neck.
Cow neck
Sweater dress.
like
big. Yep, I remember.
Yes.
And she had on kind of eggshell colored hose and pumps.
Oh, the details.
Yeah, I know the details. I pay attention. And I looked at my roommate. We were sitting up in the stands. You were on the floor. And I said, right there.
Wait a minute. What man knows eggshell colored hose?
I do.
I mean, look at you.
Yep. I know all things like that.
Do you?
Nothing gets past me. When you walk in the room, there's something different about you. Do I not notice?
Always. He's like, did you do something different to your hair? Did you color your hair?
Yep.
Are you wearing a new color makeup? He notices all of it.
Do I notice nails?
Oh, you're so funny about nails.
Do I notice feet?
That's why I have mine done.
I can't do bad feet. Number one rule of dating, don't date bad feet. You just can't date bad feet because you're going to have to live with those feet. Okay? You don't want a crunch foot going on you in the middle of the night under the covers.
A crunch foot.
You don't want that. Hope comes with me with the crunch foot. I will bring the lotion to her.
When you hear it on the sheet, like.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you put your weight on your foot and you hear a sound.
Your weight.
Look, we're wasting our time. We're wasting our time here. What was I even talking about? The law of attraction. So we went scouring the campus. It was a small campus. It wasn't big, but it had several dormitories and open spaces. And I walked in and I saw that blue sweater dress, the backside of it. She had her hind end pointed my way. She was leaning over the back of a couch, and I stopped my roommate, who is still one of my best friends to this day, 30-something years later. And I said, because I hadn't seen her up close yet. I saw her in an arena. I said, if she looks half that good when she turns around, I'm marrying her.
Ron, that's terrible.
It was bad. I feel bad. Pray for me.
You feel bad?
Yeah. Pray for me. And the law of attraction, you better be attracted. They talking about you marry somebody who's funny, and I don't care how funny they are if I don't want to look at them. I want somebody. What if I told you? I said, if you will stay beautiful,
I'll pay for it.
I said, I'll pay for it. I'll invest in it. I'll buy this expensive makeup. I'll buy this $30 bottle of shampoo, whatever we got to do. I said, if you stay beautiful, I will pay for it.
Will you get me that plastic surgery I want?
No, I'm not going there. You're too pretty to be cut on. You're too pretty to be cut on.
I told you I wanted my turkey neck pulled up at 55.
You ain't got a turkey neck.
Hello. Yes, I do.
Well, if you grab it and yank it down.
Well, I mean when you grab it and hold it and it stays.
It don't stay.
That's a bad sign.
No, yours is tight.
So we're going to do like this.
No, yours is tight. Yours is tight right through there.
Right through there. Stop. Don't touch it.
Come on, it is.
No.
The law of compatibility. Here's the problem, though. The law of attraction. The law of attraction is not enough to hold a relationship together, because if the other stuff that I'm about to talk about does not happen, the person gets real ugly,
real fast.
really, really quick. I've seen a lot of people leave people that were really good looking and really pretty.
Yeah.
So there must be some other things there that are really unattractive. And so I want to talk about that next. After the law of attraction, yes, you need to be attracted to them. Secondly, when you're dating someone, you move into the law of compatibility. Okay? If you're not compatible, they will not be attractive long.
That's true.
All right? The law of compatibility, if you were in our marriage conference, is where we talk about life rhythms. And life rhythms is where you understand your likenesses and where you understand your differences. Me and Hope are best friends because of our likenesses.
Right.
We love the beach.
We do.
We like to travel.
We do.
We love new restaurants.
Yes.
We love to go to a restaurant for the first time.
And guess what else we like?
What?
We, not just me, we like to shop.
I do.
He likes to shop.
I'm different.
He is
I
different.
usually do more holding bags,
Your own
than
bags.
I do shopping, but I do like to shop. And those are the things we both like a good steak. I'm starting to like Mexican food. Okay. Moving to California has probably had a great influence on that. Used to just do that for you.
Because you're getting some authentic, good Mexican food here.
For you. And, but in other words, we have all these things where we like the
enjoy.
same music.
Yeah.
And when we were dating, we both loved Journey, and we went and saw Journey a while back. Although, everybody's 70 and we're 50 now, we went and saw them, and the nostalgia of hearing those sounds again. But then there are the differences. That is where most people fight. But in a real relationship, you learn the differences that can aggravate you are the areas where you complete me. That's the area where you've got my blind spot. Yeah. You have, Eve came out of Adam, which means she possesses things he does not have.
Yeah, God took that part out and gave it to her, so you don't have it anymore.
He possesses things she does not have. You are extremely creative and highly passionate about what you want to get done. And I love you for that. I love you for your passion. I am a thinker-througher.
Yeah.
And you thought about step 1 and you've thought about step 2, and this thing is going to be awesome. And we're down here sometime at step 18. I'm sitting there tore up over step 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, because that's the way I think. But very rarely do I have the idea. You have the idea. You come up with the creativity. I tend to be a lot of times the more logical thinker about a thing.
And in those steps, because I'm a detail person too. I'm extremely detailed.
I'm talking about in the thinking stage. You're extremely detailed in the execution of a thing.
You overthink at times.
I do.
He overthinks.
And sometimes you have to grab me and say, Ron, just come on.
Yeah. I'm like, Ron, you're just putting too many things in here, and you're overthinking, and you're overanalyzing, and now we're getting into fear or whatever.
So what is a good marriage? Me looking at you and saying, you're right. You're right. You got my blind spot. And I think in our 50s, you've been able to look at me and say, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
You're right about that. Knowing that these things are differences, knowing that you feel a thing and you feel it powerfully. You feel it and then think it. I think it before I feel it. And we understand that that's the way we're wired and that's the way we're built. I'll ask you, how do you feel about this, baby? You'll come ask me, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I may not have a feeling. But I'm going to think it through after you bring it to me.
I sure do love our sponsor, Skillshare. Why? They provide a platform to where you can basically learn a brand new skill or brush up the skills that you already have. And it's never too late to learn something new. And Skillshare covers about every topic imaginable, from life coaching, leadership, photography, public speaking, and so much more. I am personally going to take the class, Unlocking Your Potential by Emma Gannon. I'm a believer that you should learn something new every day, and this platform gives us that opportunity. It's affordable. It's classes under 60 minutes. You can ask questions and be a part of a great community of learners. Turn your passion into payday with Skillshare. Visit Skillshare.com/Ron and Hope today for your first month free. That's Skillshare.com/Ron and Hope.
Differences are where you become great partners. Likenesses are where you become best friends. And marriage is contradictory in the fact that it is friends and partners at the same time.
That's where the friction comes.
And in most cases, those two things do not go together.
They get
You don't want a friend to be a partner, and you don't want a partner to be a friend. Marriage, it is both. And I've told people many times, and I'm not just saying this here hoping that things get better when I leave and go home. I've told people many times, I'm amazed at the grace of God and what God has allowed me to do, how he's allowed me to live, the people he's allowed me to touch. I cherish that, and I wake up a grateful man every day, but I would not have had those successes absent from you. Because I've told people, I said, you complete all those deficiencies, and I see how God brought you to me. And I'll just let you tell everybody else how I complete all the deficiencies in you. I want to ask you a leading question.
Ron, you complete me.
Maybe we're not doing that movie.
What?
What's that movie? Tom Cruise in that movie. You Had Me at Hello?
Yeah.
I can't even think of the movie. I've watched it like 60 times.
Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire.
Yes.
Yeah,
see, I complete you.
You're trying to do that.
I complete you.
We're not doing movie reenactments, but an area where maybe it's a blind spot for you and I see clearly.
A lot of them.
You told me one time, do you remember that time? This has been within the last year. We were just having one of those nights. We're leaning over the console. We're playing with each other's hand. I'm driving down the road. We got, some jazz music on or something. And I just throw out one of those questions, what do you love about me? And I'm figuring you're going to rub my hair or I like your arm. And you sit there and said, I love the fact that you always have a plan.
Yep.
I didn't even know how to respond because I didn't.
You like that, didn't you?
I didn't see that coming.
You like that, didn't you?
But to know that you think of me that way, you better believe that was very attractive.
I love the fact, as my husband, you always have a vision for our house. You have always. And even when we're like stuck at something, we're like, well, what about this? We don't have enough money to make this new purchase of a new house we want. But you are the kind who will always go back. There's so many little things in that little head of yours.
My strength is my weakness too.
Yes.
Because I can make it happen.
Yes.
I will think of a way to make it happen, and sometimes I force things God didn't want to happen. And then it turns around and bites me on my backside. And so I've tried to know just because I may be able to figure it out, it may not be what God wants.
But you do. You have great plans.
I do.
I love
you for that. Thirdly, these life rhythms, people have got to understand how much their experiences will affect their relationship.
It's 100% going to affect.
Not marriage conferences. I've done premarital counseling back before I had
staff,
other people that were better at it than me. I would do all that myself. And I've literally we're going to get married and I'll start scratching some of those scabs. Oh, we're not going to talk about our past. That's in the past and it's under the blood and this and that and the other. And we're not going to let our families bother. And I'm sitting there just going, this is a bomb waiting to go off because they really believe that. The fact is, you're connected to them and everybody they're connected to.
And their aunt and their cousin.
Exactly right. And not only
granny.
that, you are connected to their experience and every experience they've ever had, they will bring those experiences
will surface.
right into that marriage. And so what would just some of your insights on that? Because, you had a time in your life where life just had to stop. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't
deal with all my past life experience. I just thought, because prior to meeting you, it was kind of traumatic.
You did kind of think,
I did.
I'm marrying Ron, so this goes away.
Marrying you, we were going to ride off into the sunset. I met the most wonderful guy, my knight in shining armor. So all of this is in my past, and it's not going to affect my future. But what people don't understand is the past gets into you. You carry it in your body. You carry it in your mind, in your memories, in your emotions, and it affects your relationships on into your life, and it did.
I do not live my life by Instagram one-liners, and in fact, that's one thing I don't like about pop culture is you get up every day and scroll through Instagram, and it's just everybody's got their one-liner for the day, and I'm like, please. But I did see something very powerful the other day on Instagram. It's just a graphic, and it said, if you do not take care of your issues, your next relationship will.
And if you don't heal, you will bleed on the people
exactly right.
that didn't cut you.
You make the next person pay for what the last person did.
Yeah. And we do. Everybody does that until you deal with all of the pain and the people are saying, what are you talking about? It's the pain. It's the painful things in your life that affect you and you take into your next relationship. So, if you were in a marriage where your spouse cheated on you and you divorced and you're trying to move on and date and go into another relationship, well, you're going into this relationship with trust issues.
You're carrying plutonium.
Yeah, you're carrying trust. I don't trust people and I over scrutinize, and this person's like, I haven't done anything to you. Why are you treating me this way?
If the woman you divorced ran up all your credit cards and you didn't know it and ruined your credit, then the next woman can walk in with one bag that says Macy's on the side.
And they blow up on them.
And there's an all-out brawl, and this person hadn't done anything.
Right.
But what are you doing? You're over-scrutinized next because you haven't been healed from last. And that's the death of a relationship. Yeah. So I know y'all saying, well, Pastor, you're talking about life rhythms. That's a word I think is original with me. I haven't read it anywhere. Life rhythms is you were raised by a single mom, and he had a mom that stayed at home all day.
And cooked and cleaned.
And took care of the men and cleaned the house. And he's used to the floor being done. He's used to all the laundry being folded. He's used to the dishes being put up because he had a mom that did that. You came from a single mom, and y'all just did everything you could to survive.
Yeah. So he wants you to come home now and the house be cleaned all the time.
Those two life rhythms, I'm going to tell you, dating has, people say, how long do you date? You date long enough to talk about stuff like that.
Yeah.
And work those things out. Okay, you've been raised in church. He doesn't care anything about church. It's just not a part of his value system. And I've heard people like, well, eventually I'll win him over or whatever. Yeah. No.
Or you marry somebody of a different faith, but you're so in love with them. Exactly. But they were raised Catholic, but you were raised a Christian. And so what are you going to do with your children? How are you going to raise them?
I can see one couple in my mind right now who was on our leadership team that almost came to a divorce because they spent around 10 or 15 years with one working first shift and one working third.
Yeah, and they never saw each other.
And they both had high-paying jobs.
Yeah.
And they had a lifestyle that they had to support. And I mean, that's a totally different life rhythm. If you work third and she works first.
You never see each other. It's no relationship.
Yeah, I mean, y'all gonna say, hey, on the weekends?
Just to pay the bills.
And so, and these are things that when you're so blinded with emotion and so blinded with the feelings.
When the butterflies are still there.
You don't pay attention to all the things that can destroy those feelings because they'll destroy them and destroy them quick. I call them life rhythms. You want to have kids? He don't want to have kids. You want to have 5? He wants to have 1 because he was an only child. I'm amazed at how many people will walk the aisle and say I do and have never even had these conversations.
Yeah. We already had ours named before we got married and knew how many we would have.
People who were sitting on total opposite sides of the rooms, they were so mad. And I was saying, y'all never talked about this? No, they didn't. It was, I jumped on the back of his motorcycle. We had the best time.
And we partied all the time and had a great time.
And I've never felt this way before. And we got married. Then all of a sudden you're in the same house. 2 lives are trying to become one. And you find out you're totally different from this person you just made a covenant with. And so the law of attraction then has to go into the law of compatibility. The law of compatibility, by its nature, has to examine what are the life rhythms you're coming from, what are the life rhythms they are coming from. I want to reach into your healing the heart stuff here for a moment. Deficiencies in your home, okay? This is a part of healing the heart that Hope's a part of and teaches so much, but I want to rob a little bit. I may change the wording around deficiencies. Hope said something a minute ago about carrying last into next. If you had real deficiencies in your home from a security standpoint, you never knew when you was going to come home and there would be an eviction notice on the apartment door.
Or no food in the refrigerator.
Yeah, you didn't know if you was going to eat supper before you went to bed. Those things were supposed to be provided for when you were a child in your home. Okay? If you go, I was never appreciated, I was never affirmed, nobody even told me I had a gift, much less helped me develop it. When those things went missing, you learn there to adapt, but they create longings. Yeah. So you go into adulthood with the deficiency creating a hunger. And then what happens is you look for what you didn't get here to be supplied
in the next relationship.
And what you do is you have a hole in your bucket, and 100 people cannot plug those holes.
Are not supposed to plug the holes.
And that's not the season.
No, the parents are supposed to plug the holes as a child, but when you become an adult, what you did and didn't get, Jesus plugs the holes. Only Jesus, Psalm 137, can satisfy the longings of your soul. That's your mind, your emotions, your intellect, how you think and feel and act and react. Only Jesus can fill all those gaps. People can't. That's when you put all that weight and responsibility on another person to make you feel appreciated. Well, they don't make me feel appreciated. They don't make me feel safe. They don't comfort me. And then that starts the war, right? But when you get to a place of healing where Jesus is your everything, you don't look to another human. You don't look to a man, a woman, a friend, a family member to fill all the gaps in your life.
How do you know if there's a deficiency? I like the road this is taking. This was not scripted today. We just want to talk about our dating and talking about helping some other people with dating. How do you know, Pastor, how do you know if there's a deficiency? A deficiency is always characterized by a cycle. When you had a deficiency in this season of your life, you'll have a cycle in the next seasons of your life.
Until it's broken.
Jesus said, I have to go through Samaria. Samaria was out of the way.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if he could have told you why at that time, because he's led by the Holy Spirit just like we are. He said, I've got to go out of the way because I got to go by Samaria. He showed up and there was a woman at a well. Okay? And then Jesus had this conversation about her husbands.
Right.
You're correct. You've had 5. You're living with number 6 that in the South we used to call shacking. And Jesus was number 7. And what did Jesus tell her? If you drink the water I'm speaking of, you will not
Never
thirst again. In other words, Jesus is saying, you are locked in a cycle from man to man to man to man because there is a hole in your bucket.
Yes.
There's something you didn't get here, and you're sucking the life out of every relationship you have.
And it never fills you up.
Nobody can satisfy.
Never.
And unless you change your well, I hope you like this one because you're going to be coming to it the rest of your life. Examine the places of deficiency without thinking you're being disrespectful to your parents. You can still love father and mother and know that there was some areas where they weren't great.
Yeah. Well, there's no homes.
Exactly right.
Where you have perfect parents.
You say, do you come from a dysfunctional home? I said, everybody comes from a dysfunctional home. You show me a home that functions perfectly. I don't see it. I've never seen one. And
just go listen to our other podcast where we interviewed our children.
Yeah, that was one of the early ones, by the way. So the fact remains, when you're attracted, take the time to see if you're compatible. Study what life rhythms do you come from. And then last of all, what are the deficiencies in the life before you met this other person that could cause havoc, that could cause you to just deplete them in the relationship you're about to begin? Because these things are real. We've lived them.
Yes, we have.
We've got the scars, we've got the battle scars, we got the T-shirts and the tags and bags and everything else. And life, if you don't do it when you're younger on this side of that marriage covenant, life at one time will make you stop.
Yeah. And
say, we are taking care of this. And that don't have to happen when you're 35, 40, 50, what they call a midlife crisis. A midlife crisis is nothing but unresolved issues. And you start looking in different places.
So, here we are, married 32 years now. We still date, don't we?
Intentionally.
So let's tell them some of our dates.
They'll be bored because you know what? Here again, I'm going to score me some big points right here, but you know I'm telling you the truth. If I'm with you, I don't care.
Come on, somebody.
I couldn't name you a top 5. And I'll look at you sometimes and say, I don't care as long as I'm with you. Because me having quality time with you is my date.
Yeah.
Now, you want to see sights, you want to go places, and I know that, and so I want to give that to you. But Sometimes I like the ride over there talking to you more than I like the place.
Going out to eat, we do that a lot.
We love a nice
good
restaurant.
meal.
We love a nice restaurant.
Yes.
When I say nice restaurant, excuse me, baby screaming and plates banging.
No, we're not doing Golden Corral.
No.
We're not doing that.
No. I've already had that. 3 kids, 5 grandkids, everything else. When me and Hope are by ourselves, we're not doing banging plates.
And if we sit down in a restaurant and we hear one, we're like, oh, no, ma'am.
Yep.
Somebody did with your child.
Yep. We're not doing that.
That's me. I'm that person in the restaurant.
We love a good dining experience. We love a beach, and now we live close to the coastline.
Yes.
And we do a lot,
Sometimes we just leave, listen, in our pajamas at night. I will have already washed my face. We've got on our pajamas, and he'll say, let's go to Baskin Robbins. And we will go in our pajamas.
Or on the East Coast, Waffle House.
Yeah, and he'll go in and get the ice cream and bring it back, and we sit in the car and we eat our ice cream.
But look, we've eaten dinner on the Eiffel Tower. We've watched sunsets in Santorini. But look at what we're talking about.
Yes, the little
parking
things.
lots and Baskin Robbins. Because it's not the Santorinis and the Eiffel Towers that make a marriage. It's the little foxes
ones
that spoil the vines, and it's the flies that get in the ointment that ruin the ointment. It's all. I've never had anybody say, well, I'm getting a divorce. Why? Well, he won't take me on a Caribbean cruise. I've never had nobody tell. You know what I do have them tell me? He never holds my hand anymore.
Or he won't talk to
me.
me.
He won't talk to me. He doesn't kiss me. Those are the things I hear when people are on the brink of divorce. And we intentionalize those.
Yes.
I usually get up a little early and she does. I'm there drinking my coffee. When she walks in that room, I don't care what her hair looks like, how greasy she is, or the color of her mixed match pajamas. I get up and I go straight to her.
Hug me.
Because I want to be with you. And you know what? Now, if I didn't do that, you'd probably stop and say, what's wrong?
Yeah, I'm like, get over here.
Yeah, because that's so expected of you now. And what do I do at nighttime when I'm putting you to sleep? I kiss you.
On my eye.
Right on the corner of the eye.
Or my forehead.
Right. And it doesn't always have to be a strategic place. It can be an eye or a forehead every once in a while. So I know we've been here probably a little longer than we want to, a little longer than a half hour. But I'm hoping that sometimes, without me and you being preachy, baby, that we can just sit down and our conversations will bless somebody. Because the fact is, I think we're at the most healthy time of our life. And one of the reasons that it's healthy is because we try not to overlook the small things.
Yeah.
I know that you've been gone for a few days. When you're gone, I go out and eat 3 times a day. I get home too late to cook. The last 2 nights, I think I ate at 9:30, and last night was 10:15. I don't feel like going home at 10:15 and cooking. And I'm not a great cook anyway. I can grill, but I'm not a great cook. So I watched you this morning. You went to bed late. You got up early. We've been working all day. But you laid out hamburger meat. You said, I'm going to cook for you tonight because I love your, believe it or not, meatloaf.
Yep.
And you said,
he
said, I'm going to cook you a meat. See, it's the little things. It's the fact that you know I love a meatloaf and you know I've been going out to eat for a week and you come back and say, I'm cooking tonight.
Well, come on, let's shut this down so I can go cook.
Guys, there is somebody that can fit perfectly in your life. I didn't say it would be perfect. I said they're a perfect fit. Our life has been far from perfect, but I know I have the perfect fit.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to have trials and trouble and tribulation with anybody other than you.
No, I know this is a perfect fit. I do believe it's possible. I do believe that it exists. But even things that are a perfect fit, they still take time to put together. The puzzle fits perfectly together, but you got to take the time to find the pieces and put them in place to make the picture.
And if you're listening and you're married and you say, I got trouble in my marriage, we need help, we've got a marriage conference in February in California at beautiful Monterey. We've got the information right there on the screen. You can go to myredemption.cc, get all the information. We'd love to have you. It's going to be amazing.
All righty. Guys, thank you for having this conversation
Ron
with us.
and Hope.
Until next time.
Unfiltered.
Be blessed.